Hello, I'm Maciej Mikos and you're watching World Talks. As the American presence in Europe is poised to weaken in coming years, the continent rapidly expands its arms production capabilities in face of the growing threat from Moscow. And to talk about new arms in Europe, we're joined by Lieutenant Colonel Krzysztof Płatek, former spokesperson at Eurocorps. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Colonel, Poland is on a shopping spree. It has just signed a contract to buy 3 Swedish submarines. Now, how do you rate this move?
It was a necessary move, necessary step to finalize this long story about the purchase of new type of submarines for the Polish Navy. And the chosen of Swedish offer was a wise move, in my opinion, because it matched with the requirements of the Navy. Polish Navy wanted a smaller platform. So they will receive a smaller platform. It's also a very modern submarine. It has a modular construction, it's stealthy, it has a big potential of modernization in the future. So the only problem of this is the capability of the Subcockums shipyard, but we heard that also the UK embassy supported the Swedish offer, and we know that behind of this is the Babcock company from the UK, which offered the support for the Swedish sub. So we can expect that they will deliver in time the submarines for Polish Navy.
Maybe. Now, opinions differ on the matter, whether Swedes will be able to hold the 2030 deadline. However, I'd like to ask you about the capabilities of this future submarine. What can it do, and what will be its main purpose? Is it just meant to monitor the seabed, you know, all the cables that lie down there, or is it also meant to deter Russia? Is it also meant to, you know, to carry a substantial set of warheads?
Mainly it will be the submarine which will offer to the Polish Navy the capabilities to surveillance and to disorganize the roads of the Baltic Fleet of Russia in potential conflict. Yes, so they can be a threat for the Russian surface vessels. Mm-hmm. So Russia will have to engage bigger components, anti-submarines components, like helicopters, like frigates, anti-submarine frigates, and other systems. So it is the effect of purchase of new submarines is that the Russia will have to invest more in the Baltic Fleet.
And what about Poland? Because so far we're hearing about these 3 submarines. Now that's, I guess, a success for the Polish also military industry, because the latter submarines, after the first one that will be assembled in Sweden, will be assembled in Poland, if I'm not mistaken. But
we don't know all the story yet. We know that submarines were only one element of the whole memorandum of understanding which will be signed between the Polish and Swedish government. And also, the requirements of the Polish side were the transfer of technology to the Polish shipyard industry, the transfer of technology to the Polish defense industry and research and development centers, also establishing of maintenance, repair and overhaul of submarines in Poland. And
so Poland generally will gain the knowledge how to build submarines on its own?
Not build.
No.
Only to maintain.
Only to maintain.
So yes. But we can expect that it will deliver also a lot of jobs in Poland. So we can think about a revitalization of the Polish shipyard industry, because it's not still in a good condition.
Mm-hmm. We'll have 3 new submarines, but is that it? Does Poland not intend to buy some new ships? What's the current state of affairs in the Polish Navy?
Poland is currently producing the new frigates based on contract with the British Babcock. So in coming years, in next decade, we'll receive 3 new frigates specialized in air defense. Also, Polish Navy thinks about modernization of this corvette named Ślązak, which now is only a patrol vessel. So after the modernization process, we can expect that this Ślązak will be the fully armed corvette. So this way we will have 4 surface vessels and finally, after the deliveries from Sweden, 3 submarines.
So 4 surface vessels, 3 submarines.
Of course, we have to
Where does it situate Poland among other regional players in the Baltic?
Poland is going to be a part of the whole system. It's the member of NATO, and the responsibility of Baltic is not only in Polish hands. It's also in Swedish hands, in Denmark hands, in German hands, and also in Finland hands. So we have few members, few armies, few navies in Baltic area. So we have to share the commitments.
Obviously. Let's move on to up there, to the air defense. Now, United States Secretary of the Army, Dan Driscoll, has warned that Russia produces actually more missiles than it is able to launch at Ukraine. Now, I know he said that during negotiations with the Ukrainian side. Nevertheless, is Europe prepared to protect its skies in the event of a war with Russia?
Europe is increasing the capabilities, developing the capabilities of their own defense industry. The European countries are trying to really produce more munition, more missiles to the air defense systems. But currently, Europe lack of these effectors, of these missiles. So we should have a hope that in next years the potential of European defense industry will grow.
Mm-hmm. Now, meanwhile, Turkey has announced it will build its air defense destroyer. Now, given the fact that the end of the war in Ukraine looms over the horizon, hopefully, and the Russian Black Sea Fleet will be operating as it used to soon. How important is the Turkish factor in the region?
In the region, in the border of 2 continents, of Asia and Europe, Turkey is the most significant player. It has the second army in the NATO, so more than 300,000 active professional soldiers, 300,000 reserves, 150,000 of paramilitary members of another law enforcement groups, yes, and also it has a very strong self-sufficient industry, and the strategy of the President Erdogan and Turkey in the long term is just to build this self-sufficiency and also be the most significant player in the area, to have the strongest navy, not only in the Black Sea, but also in the Mediterranean Sea, and also to have completely independent capabilities, production capabilities. Turkey is an example of the remarkable growth. And in the last 20 years, we see a real dynamic boost, and the changes how the Turkish defense industry changed. We see the change from being a buyer to the builder, and now one of the biggest exporters.
Now, the most iconic example would be the Bayraktar drones, which changed the course of the war in Ukraine in the early stages.
They are the most famous
of the conflict. Absolutely. Now, Turkey has something which Ankara calls blue homeland policy. It is what you said,
Yes.
to protect its interests in the Mediterranean. Now, could this lead to an open conflict with another member of NATO, namely Greece?
We heard a lot about the disputes between Turkey and Greece. Turkey also in last century invades the Cyprus, but currently I think that Turkey has bigger problems than tensions with Greece. They have to really improve their own capabilities because there are a lot of threats in the Middle East region, and also we see that they are expanding not only in the Middle East, they are expanding in Africa. So they are looking for different areas where can just they influence these regions. So there were always a problem between Greece and Turkey in NATO. A lot of documents were postponed because of the argues. Even the reasons were that Turkey doesn't agree with Greece how to call some regions. Different names, and because of that, NATO wastes a lot of time just to find a solution for these two dispute countries. Yes.
Well, as Donald Trump has shown us, geographical names are quite important. I'm talking about the Gulf of America, right?
Yes, yes, of course.
The Gulf of Mexico. And now from Turkey, lastly, I'd like us to talk about the things happening a bit up north. Now, German Rheinmetall arms manufacturer is opening factories in Hungary, Romania. Now, some experts say that the sheer location of these factories make these countries more safe. But I'd like to ask you, as a military expert, whether it's quite the opposite, and that these sides would be the first targets in case of an open conflict with Russia.
It happened in Ukraine, that the military facilities were the first targets in the first day of conflicts. So I think the strongest security policy is the presence of the American soldiers, and this is the strongest policy.
But slowly their number in Europe will dwindle, unfortunately.
So yes, Europe has to find its own way, own solution how to protect itself, and one way can be tightening the relations with Turkey.
So here's the ready solution. Lieutenant Colonel Krzysztof Płatek, former spokesperson at Eurocall, was our guest today. Thank you very much, Colonel.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching, and stay with us for more here on TVP World.